Just imagine living your life in the darkness. No sunrises, no sunsets, no faces, no colors, just shadows and shame. And that's the man in John chapter 9 until the day Jesus, the light himself, walks by. Um, Today's June 4th, 2026, about 11 o'clock here in a cool uh, summer day here in Central Florida. This is Rod with RA Salt and Silver. Please comment, like, and subscribe so that more people can get the word of Jesus. So let's get into John chapter 9. And if you think about it, the disciples look at this blind man and ask the wrong questions. Who sinned, him or his parents? Because back then, people assumed that everything was a punishment from God. And Jesus shuts it down real quick. Neither of these things happen. This happened so the works of God could be displayed in him. And Jesus refuses to let suffering be reduced to blame, but he reframes it as a stage for God's glory. And I think we have to almost do this ourselves too. When we're in some sort of suffering, how can we use our suffering for God's good? What is God doing with your suffering, my suffering, to make something good? So then we had a messy miracle. Jesus spits in the dirt. He makes mud and he smears it in the man's eyes. Why mud? Why would he use mud? Well, because Jesus doesn't need to use clean methods to do holy miracles. He can use the dirt that people actually steps on to restore people that others ignore. So he sends the man to wash it off in the pool of Siloam, and the man obeys. But for the first time in his life, lights flood in. His lights are now on. So the Pharisees, they were a little upset about this, right? So they can't deny the miracle. So they try to discredit it. They start interrogating the man. They interrogate his parents. They interrogate him again. But the healed man gets bolder and bolder every time. He finally declares the line that we all know. One thing I do know is I was blind, but now I see. He doesn't have a theology degree. He's never studied the words of God. And he doesn't have all the answers. But he has a testimony. And that's enough to shake the world. And back then, it shook the whole religious system as we know it. So now, the Pharisees throw him out, and Jesus finds him. The one who healed his eyes now reveals his identity. And he says, "You have now seen him. He's the one speaking with you." And the man worships because physical sight is good. But more importantly, he found spiritual sight, and that is eternal. So Jesus ends with a hard truth. Some who claim to see are actually blind. And some who know they're blind can finally see. So this isn't just a miracle story, it's a mirror we all can look in. Can you see Jesus? And can you see Jesus for who he really is? So this is Rod, RA Salt and Silver. Have a great rest of your day.